I wanted to provide you with something to review, so here's a small video showing you what to do on each problem. This is number 1. You can pause as you need to and solve. Menu 3-1, plug in the 500. Number 2, draw the vertical line. See where they cross. These are the 2 codes you can use to help you work that problem. Number 3, solve them for y and see which one has a slope of 4, and then plug into -6 or look on the table to see if it's there. Number 4, don't forget to write p equals 6 plus g. 6 and g go together when you add. P is what you set it equal to. And then write the 2 versions of that. Don't forget that the 150 goes on either P or G. Or it goes on both of them, I'm sorry. It goes on both of them. Not either or, but P and G goes on both. Number 5, you have to graph both of these and then look at the table to pick your answer. And when you read the answer choices and look at the table, you get A. Number 6, the trend is going up, so the more large groups you have, the more money you make. Higher you are up on the y-axis. Number 7, that's menu 613. Number 8, find 2 points, then find the slope. It goes down 2 and right 3. So the y decreases and the x increases. And this is 0, 2, because the y is 2. The y-axis is right here, and it's on 2, so it needs to be in the y spot. So it's A. On this one, A is the only one where the x value doesn't repeat. On letter B, that's how you solve it. There's a little picture there. You can pause and look. Write it down. Okay, number 11. Remember, there's a 1 on the 2, so that becomes 2 cubed, and that's 8. It's not 6. Then you multiply the other exponents. Number 12. 1, 0, that means x-intercept looks like it's 1, and that's here. That's the only one that sits 1. These don't sit at all, so those are imaginary. This one crosses twice on the x-axis, so that wouldn't be 1, 0, that would be 2. What is the solution to the system below? Menu 613, menu 613, and then see where they cross. They cross at 3, 0. When you graph them. So menu 613 for this table, and then do menu 613 for that table. Don't try to do them both at the same time, that's wrong. Number 14, be careful if you see this, count the spaces. Here's a dot here, and then here's another dot over here, but you gotta count. So if I count 7 spaces this way, count 7 this way, but starting from -1, that makes it -8. Here, all you have to do is distribute -4. That gives you -12x and then +4. And when you cancel out the 12s, you're left with 7. Number 16, use the box method. And there it is right there. X plus y, 2x plus y, 2x squared. This gives you here in this box was 2xy. That gives you plus xy. That gives you plus y squared. Number 17, find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. That's menu 613, look at the slope. Number 18, that says that x is 16. So plug in 16 in the x spot and you get 120. Or look on the table after you graph it and look at x in the 16 in the x spot for the y. Number 19, menu 3, 2, 1, 3 gives you this standard form, so you can plug in a 1, -3, and then 12, and look to see which one is right. Number 20, all of these are linear, so you can do It's supposed to be negative 11. You can do menu 613. But like I told you on the other test, if your answer choices have squares in them, don't do that. Put your x values up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and plug each one of those numbers into the end spot to see if you get the sequence. 21. The linear situation is always going to be the total price or total cost. Number 22, the minimum for this one is going to be -4 on the y-axis and the y spot. So you can graph this to see the answer. So just graph it. This one is menu 613. Just a reminder. Number 24, you have to solve each one for y and then see which one looks the same as the graph. You can graph the answer choices. Number 25, which one is not true about the parent function? That negative right there on the 1 is not correct. It should be the same. And this is the parent function, okay? 3x minus 5 is one of the children of y equals x. And remember, the domain and range is all real numbers for y equals x. For 25, it says that 7.92 is for peaches and oranges, so I got that because I had to put in the 44 cents and 88 cents. And then 3 more oranges than peaches is 3 and peaches together, which gives you the orange, okay? You do menu 32 in the calculator, and it gives you the peaches is 4, and the oranges is 7. And so, can 8 be a reasonable amount for peaches? The answer is no, because it has to be 4. 27. It starts at 3, so start goes first. So A and D have 3 first, so B and C are eliminated. And then the movement of this candy, meaning how many M&Ms are added every hour, it is doubled. The movement is 2, so that will go in the middle. Movement goes in the middle. And then T, to represent the time exponentially, is the exponent. So it's A. And I'm sorry that you couldn't see that. I'm bringing it down, just now noticing. Again, 3 is what it started with, so it goes first. So B and C are eliminated. Double is talking about the movement of the candy being put in the jar. Okay, so movement in the middle. Number 28, that's menu 32. When you see C's in the answer, that means infinite solutions. If it's no solution, it'll say it. If it's one solution, it'll say it. Number 29, this is the y value. And the y value is 22. So put 22 in the y spot, not in the x spot. I mean, take the f away and the x and then write 22, like this. And you can do menu 3-1 for that, and solve 22 equals 4x minus 9, comma x, and get 14.5, or you can look on the table when y is 22 for the x value. Okay, number 39, it says no more than, so we know less than or equal to, which is here. The word per is next to visit in 29.95, so we know that's the slope, and that's visit would be the x, and then we're adding on the 595. So there it is. Rate of change means slope, so m is 1/8. On number 34, all you really need to do is do b squared minus 4ac and put it under the radical. And that is -9, then square it, minus 4 times a times c. And when you type that in the calculator, you get 121. Don't use the radical. the square root sign. Just use that, and that tells you what goes under it. So it's either B or C, and since B is negative, and the quadratic formula says put negative B in front, that means put a negative, then write B, which makes two negatives, so therefore it would be positive. 0 means on the x-axis, so you would graph this in the calculator, and this here is the 0. That is the 0 right there on the x-axis. 36 is menu 613. 37, $120 is spent on pencils and markers, or that's how much it cost. And $3 for pencils, $4.50 for markers, so you put that next to them. And then remember, the 7 and the markers are added, and it equals the pencils, and these are the two versions of it. That gives you B. Is it a function of x? Don't forget to look at the x value repeating. Okay, and here it doesn't repeat, so it's B. 39, domain is gel cell bars. So I'm going to draw gel cell bars, meaning up and down lines, moving left to right, or right to left, depending on the way the graph points. Well, it points to the left, so I need to draw gel cell bars this way. It started at 3, so it's going to be less than or equal to 3. It's shaded in, it's a closed circle, so it has a bar under it. The range is going to be ladder steps. So I'm going from here up. And I started at -2, so that eliminates B and C. And it's going up, so it's greater than, and then it has a closed circle, so it's equal to 41. Do the box. A plus BX, 3A minus B. That gives me 2. And I don't want 2, I want 4. So try B. That's how it should look. And it's correct. Okay, 42. Linear function is the cost, total cost. Area is quadratic, volume is cubic. D wouldn't be the linear function because it is missing. It wouldn't be the parent function, rather, because it's missing the negative. 43. The number in front of x squared is the coefficient, and a, when it is made -9, it would be more narrow. The bigger the number is, the skinnier the graph. The smaller the number, the bigger the graph. This means no solution. This means one solution. This means infinite solutions. It's asking for infinite, so that would be C. Normally it asks for no solution, and that would be no solution. Rewrite the following graph using the answer choices below. F of x equals 3, so there you go. That's the answer, because this graph is crossing the y-axis at 3, so y equals 3. The only other way to write it is f of x equals 3. For 46, you have x and y values, and you have an inequality. Plug in the x and y values. Okay, and moving on. Number 40. And on 46, when you plug in 3 and you plug in 4, that should have been, I believe, 14. When you plug that in, it is greater than 1500, so that's why it's not A. When you plug in B, 75 times 17, you actually get a number less than or equal to 1500. It's actually 1500, and it's less than or equal to, so that makes B the answer. 47, to be acute means to be less than 90. And so when you're less than 90, x is going to be less than 22. And that's how I worked it out. Plus 110. Divide by 5. X is less than 22. The only number less than 22 is B. This here says change the slope from 1/5 to, from 3 to 1/5. So that would be C. Let me bring it down. You can't see it. Change it from 1/5 to, change it from 3 to 1/5. That would be C. The slope is the 3. not the 4. What type of relationship is shown in the table below? This is inverse variation. These numbers go up, these numbers go down. And if I multiply all these together, this, I get 48 for each one. So that's inverse. I'm dropping fairly quick, so this is what you would call exponential decay. This one here is squared, so that's quadratic. 10 times 10, 8 times 8, 5 times 5. What type of relationship is shown below? This is a direct variation. From here to here it's 8, from here to here it's 8, from here to here it's 8. So that's direct variation. Given t equals 5d plus 15, 55 degrees, that's d, goes in the d spot. Put that in the calculator, you get 290. Y varies directly with x when x is 2 and y is negative 4. Find the value of y when x is negative 12. So we know that 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So multiply this number by negative 2, gives you positive 24. The number that is less steep is the smallest slope, so that's d. 56 requires a lot of work. You have to go to the calculator to find the vertex. Inside of the vertex is the axis of symmetry and the minimum or maximum. Alright. So when you use the calculator, you see the vertexes are different. As you can see, I wrote them. They do have the same axis of symmetry, but their minimums are different. And the y-intercepts is the last number in each equation, and they are different. So the only things they have in common are the axis of symmetry and the roots. 57. 16 hours of work is the next value, because the graph says it. And you plug these 2 points into mu613 to get the equation. Then look on the table. When x is 16, y is 20. 1,400 pieces of candy is the y-intercept because that's where you start. You're losing 5 pieces every time someone buys candy, so the slope is negative 5. You're setting it equal to the new total, 400, to see how long it would take for 400 to be left. And then you get that the number of people that come to pay for candy is 200, so there were 200 visits. For domain and range, for number 5, I am going from negative 4 over to 2 because I'm using gel cell bars to find the domain. So, and negative 3 to 2. I think I said 4, I meant negative 3 to 2. And the range is coming down here to negative 4, making ladder steps all the way up to 3. Number 60. If there are 15 square tiles and they all have W units, that's W times W, which is W squared. So I need to say this one plus this one plus this one, and they're all the same. I know they're all the same. A quicker way to do that is just to multiply 15 times whatever the area was, so because it's 15 of them. So it's C. If you have any questions, I did run through that fairly quick. You can kick me. I'm going to show you the answers here. So you can freeze the screen and see them. First period, yours is going to be a little different. That one page that was missing. Okay. You can freeze the screen, pause the video. There's 56 through 60. I did just now remember that I think I skipped 2 questions, and they were 32 and 33. So I believe I did it. I'm looking now just to make sure. Yeah, they weren't in here. So it's this. Which one is used correctly? X and Y, that's right. Dependent and range. Dependent is Y, so that should be over here. Dependent, f of x, range, they're all the same. So this is wrong. That should be independent. That one's wrong. F of x is Y. That shouldn't be there. That should be x or domain or independent. So that one's wrong. On this one, there were 2 right answers. This one, that one happened on the STAAR test. Independent is x, dependent is y. That's 1, 7. X is 1, y is 7. 2 is x, y is 5. 4 is 5, and 4 is 8. And then this one is correct. So these are the two mapping diagrams that are correct. Number 33, y equals x plus 3 is graphed. If y equals x plus 3 is changed to this, which is the solution, well, you graph it. And when you graph it, 3 up 1 over 1. It's a dashed line, okay? And it's shaded up. And so this is up. And when you look at your answers, 0, -3. Well, -3 is in the x, in the y spot. So that's talking about this one. And that's not in the region. -3, 0. The -3 is on the x, in the x spot. So it's on the x-axis. That's on the dashed line. That's not a solution. When it's on a dashed line, it's not a solution. Solid line, it is a solution. 1, 2 is not in the region. -1 and all the way up to 5, it is. So the answer was D. That concludes that. Happy studying.